Everything changed in a matter of seconds, or rather, in the quiet, unseen, and highly calculated maneuvers of an NFL front office. Welcome to this explainer. Now, before we get started, do me a huge favor. Make sure you subscribe to NFL Nexus, hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts as we go, and consider becoming a channel member to support deep, cinematic dives exactly like this one. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on a series of transactions that, right on the surface, seem completely disconnected from one another. But beneath it all, they reveal a massive, franchise-altering master plan. We're going to dive deep into the grim reality of the salary cap, secret off-season workouts, and moves that go far, far beyond what happens on the grass on Sunday. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about football. This is about survival. So let me ask you a question. Where is A.J. Brown? It's a simple question, right? But it has complex, absolute league-shattering implications. The deafening lack of an answer from the organization right now is sending shockwave through the entire NFL landscape. We're talking about a true alpha receiver, a 3-time Pro Bowler, a man who put up over 1,000 yards in just 15 games last season. Yet, as the Philadelphia Eagles slowly began to paint their off-season picture, gathering their core pieces to prepare for the grueling marathon of the new season, their brightest star, their most dominant physical presence, is completely missing from the canvas. And in the NFL, silence is never just silence. No. Silence is a highly calculated strategy. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the missing target. To understand the sheer magnitude of this absence, we have to look directly at the franchise quarterback. Jalen Hurts isn't just sitting around waiting for this front office drama to magically resolve itself. He knows the business of football. He is actively and methodically preparing for life without his most elite weapon. Take a listen to this quote from ESPN NFL insider Jeremy Fowler. Quote, "Hurts has been throwing off-site with some of his receivers, Devonta Smith, who's his new #1 receiver, new veteran Elijah Moore." Now, I want you to obsess over a couple of specific words here. First, off-site. Hurts and the brand-new offensive coordinator, Sean Mannion, have reportedly hit it off immediately, and they are secretly building a completely new offensive identity away from the media, away from the facility. And look at Fowler's phrasing at the end there. Devonta Smith, who's his new #1 receiver. Think about that. He didn't say co-1. He didn't say primary option. He literally said new. Now, what's really interesting about this next part is that what follows that drop is even more revealing. Fowler odds, you like how I slipped that in there? Let me put it this way, A.J. Brown's not at these workouts, so it's sort of understood right now. Sort of understood. That is a chilling, definitive omission. Fowler isn't dropping a casual off-season observation here. He is deliberately pointing out a massive, undeniable void. In the hyper-competitive ecosystem of the National Football League, when a franchise quarterback is learning a brand new playbook off-site, the absence of his star receiver isn't a scheduling conflict. Actually, scratch that, it's not even a minor disagreement. It is a defining statement of fact. It means the transition of power is already underway. Let's break down the exact mechanics of this transition. Step 1, bond with the new OC, Sean Mannion. You absolutely have to establish the intellectual brain trust first and get complete synchronization between the play caller and the signal caller. Step 2, hold private off-site pass catcher workouts. You control the environment, you dictate the pace, and more importantly, you control who is not in the room. Step 3, elevate Devonta Smith to the true #1. Jalen Hurts is actively shifting the power dynamic and the target share before training camp even opens its doors. This is exactly how a savvy franchise quarterback pivots when he knows a seismic, roster-altering move is coming from upstairs. But you might be wondering, can't Devonta Smith actually carry that heavy, unrelenting workload as the primary focus of every single opposing defense? Well, the answer is in the yardage, 1,008. That is exactly how many receiving yards Devonta Smith racked up last season across a grueling 17-game schedule. Let that sink in. Playing alongside A.J. Brown, sharing targets, he still managed to lead the entire team in receiving yards and ranked 3rd in touchdown catches. This number is ironclad proof that he is not just some slender secondary option. He is a lethal, highly durable primary weapon who has merely been waiting in the wings. By working out privately with Hurts right now, he is laying the essential groundwork to explode in his first season as the undisputed alpha. Section 2, the June 1st ultimatum. Stepping into the cold, calculating environment of the boardroom, we find what is widely considered the worst-kept secret in the National Football League right now, Destination New England. Now, mounting rumors reported extensively by insiders across the entire league landscape suggest that Philadelphia is actively planning to trade A.J. Brown to the Patriots. And just to be absolutely clear, as your guide through this explainer, I am not taking sides on any organizational disputes or fan debates. I am remaining completely neutral, simply reporting the facts on the ground as they are presented by top-tier sources. The Patriots, under their current regime, are desperate for a marquee offensive weapon. The Eagles, meanwhile, appear mentally and organizationally prepared to part ways with theirs. The pieces fit perfectly. But if it's such an open secret, why hasn't the trigger been pulled yet? The answer to that agonizing delay lies entirely on the calendar. A pre-June 1 trade versus a post-June 1 trade. We have to slowly break this down because the calendar date of June 1st is the ultimate key to unlocking this entire front office mystery. In the NFL's collective bargaining agreement, June 1st is a magical, almost mythical threshold for contract accounting. Trading a player before this specific date accelerates all of their future guaranteed money directly onto the current year's salary cap. It acts as an immediate, punishing financial blow. But trading them after this date, that allows the franchise to spread that financial pain across multiple seasons, essentially putting the debt on a payment plan. $43.44 million. Take a deep breath. Let the sheer weight of that number sit with you for a second. So the crucial point is, this is the devastating, franchise-crippling dead money penalty the Eagles would instantly incur if they were foolish enough to trade A.J. Brown before June 1st. You literally cannot run a functional competitive football team while simultaneously eating $43 million in dead cap space for a player who doesn't even have a locker in your building anymore. That money could pay for an entire starting secondary. It could pay for an elite offensive line. Incurring this hit pre-June 1st is nothing short of financial suicide. Now, compare that catastrophic scenario to the math of a trade happening on or after June 1st. The cap savings suddenly become a net positive, $7.04 million that the team can actually spend right now. And the dead money hit? It drops drastically from over $43 million down to $16.35 million. Is swallowing a $16 million dead cap hit still painful? Absolutely, for sure. But in the ruthless, pragmatic mathematics of the NFL, absorbing this $16.35 million hit is the only financially survivable path to execute this trade. The Eagles' front office is essentially trapped in a high-stakes staring contest with the calendar, waiting in agonizing silence for the clock to strike midnight on June 1st. Section 3. The Secret Contract Rework. To understand how deep this conspiracy goes, we have to look at how elite front offices play three-dimensional chess, orchestrating multiple pieces all at once. We first need to define a real contract year. In NFL parlance, this is the final year in a contract before a player can hit the open market of free agency. It's frequently engineered to give a team an immediate financial escape route. Recently, the Eagles executed a quiet, seemingly unrelated transaction involving linebacker Zach Bond. To the casual eye, it was just boring roster maintenance. But they meticulously reworked his massive 3-year, $51 million deal to artificially transform the upcoming 2026 season into a real contract year. Why on earth would they do that for a player who just posted 123 tackles and earned his second straight Pro Bowl selection? And this brilliantly illustrates the exact cutthroat mechanics of that maneuver. In 2026, Bond has $16.75 million in guaranteed salary. He is secure. He gets his money. But down in 2027, he has $0 in guaranteed salary. Absolutely nothing. Yet, despite having zero guarantees, his salary cap hit for the team remains a staggering $11.849 million. Do you see the trap? They have completely stripped away his financial security for 2027 while leaving a massive, bloated cap burden on the team's books. This is an intentional, highly engineered imbalance. It's a financial trapdoor built directly into the very foundation of the contract. Here is where the sheer genius and the pure ruthlessness of NFL accounting truly comes to life. Bond fully earned $17 million in his first year, and he has another $17 million in cash due across 2027 and 2028. But the Eagles are heavily utilizing void years. A void year is basically a fake, empty, phantom year tacked on to the end of a contract solely to stretch out the immediate cap hit of a signing bonus. It's pushing the debt into the future. Even more fascinating, the Eagles boldly retain the right to convert $15.5 million into an option bonus whenever they choose. They are stretching, twisting, and manipulating the complex salary cap rules to an incredible degree, all to create the ultimate unbreakable flexibility for the franchise. It's like watching a master illusionist at work. And what is the ultimate result of all that complex, microscopic contract manipulation? It comes down to exactly this number, $5.476 million. By turning 2026 into a real contract year and stripping the guarantees from 2027, the Eagles have perfectly positioned their chess pieces. If they designate Zach Bond as a post-June 1st cut in the 2027 offseason, they instantly, cleanly unlock over $5.4 million in pure, usable salary cap space. They aren't saving a single dime right now. No, they are intentionally planting financial seeds today to harvest millions in cap space 2 entire years down the road. Let's move to our final section and see how this builds into something truly spectacular. Section 4, the future master plan. When you finally take a step back and put all of these puzzle pieces together, the blueprint becomes glaringly clear. These aren't isolated incidents happening randomly. June 1st, 2026. A.J. Brown is traded, surviving the crippling dead money hit and bringing immediate cap relief, while Jalen Hurts has already proactively transitioned the offense to Devontae Smith in secret. Then, throughout the 2026 season, Zach Bond plays out his final year of guaranteed money, providing high-level Pro Bowl production on the field with absolutely zero long-term financial risk to the team. Finally, June 1st, 2027, the Eagles execute their perfectly laid trapdoor, cutting Bond to generate over $5 million in additional cap savings. The Eagles are actively weaponizing the June 1st accounting loophole over consecutive seasons to quietly dismantle and rebuild their roster, all without ever having to suffer through a painful losing rebuild phase. Which leaves us staring at one final monumental question. Is this the end of an era in Philadelphia, or the beginning of a cold, calculated dynasty? The pieces are moving swiftly on the board, the calendar is relentlessly ticking toward June 1st, and the entire balance of power in the NFL hangs in the balance of these seemingly tiny administrative moves. Are the Eagles executing a genius financial master plan, or are they making a massive, hubristic mistake by letting incredible talent walk right out the door? I want to know what you think. Make sure you subscribe to NFL Nexus, drop a comment below with your take, like the explainer, and consider becoming a channel member to support us. Until next time, keep your eyes heavily fixed on the calendar, because in today's NFL, the real game isn't played on the field, it's played in the front office.